So making that X Club style hard house, you're going to want to be maybe between like 135 BPM and 150. We start up here with these drums, which all together sound like this. These are the drums from my new hard house template. You can grab that at the top of the description. As you can see, the drums on their own are honestly pretty thin. It's basically a big low end thump from the kick, and then mainly like hi-hats and percussion, which is really in the mids and like highs. Right, and that allows us to kind of have these big bass lines and synths and stuff, and it's not going to clash. If you try to have too much break beats and stuff in the mid-range, particularly like that low mid-range, it can really fight that. So, as you can see, we start here with the kick. It's just a big fat kick that I've tuned to be in key with the bass. Like if you listen to those, and if I put the kick up a few octaves, you can really hear. So we got that, and then we move down to the main drums, which would be like the hi-hat and the clap. Just really short and punchy. I noticed these guys do use a lot of that 808 clap. Like if you really want that X Club kind of sound, the 808 clap is the one to go. They've also got a lot of these little 909 snares like this one. Right, just kind of adding a little fill every 4 bars like that. Very simple, but it does go a long way. And then we got a few little loops as well, just to add some energy. Right, and kind of that classic hard house sort of sound. We got this one. These are both from my sample packs. I've got this one just going through a little auto pan sort of sidechain shaper. And then this one's a little more complicated. So it starts out like this. Right, this kind of crazy loop with a lot of mid-range and a lot of stuff going on. And then I distorted it. Band pass. And then another sidechain. Right, and it just creates kind of like this effects percussion loop that sits underneath the drums really well. And you can hear those two loops sit in very different places. I also noticed though with the X Club stuff as well, like you also don't want those to be too loud. Like if you listen to this, it's still just the 3 main drums, the kick, hi-hat, and clap doing the main. And then this stuff's just in there kind of a little bit in the background. So then we got this sort of pad lead. So we're in the key of B minor here. It's really basic. It's just doing root note, 3rd, 9th, right? And it's following the chord progression. So it's kind of creating like chords with that, right? Because as the bass, or as the pad's doing that, the bass and the chords are doing 6th, root, 7, right? So kind of like that basic sort of right, you can hear those are basically creating a chord together, right? Now, this one being single notes though, it is very just strong and full. It works really well if you just have this play monophonic stuff and let it create the chords with the bass line. Because it's a lot more open for you to hear this, and you can turn it up a little bit louder in the mix because there's just not so much stuff happening. Now, as far as the sound goes on this one, it's beginning its life as this wavetable patch. Very basic, just a saw wave, low pass, cutting a little bit of highs, and then some unison. A bit of reverb, which you don't hear that much, but then we distort it. Right, and it just brings out the whole atmosphere of the sound. A little bit of auto pan sidechain. And then a high pass filter as well, because there is a bit of low mid. And you can hear there's a lot more room for the bass line if you cut that. Then we have this kind of like pluck. Now, this might seem complicated. It's basically 2 things. It's the chord progression and then it's the little melody. The melody is very simple. The melody is just going 5, 7, 5. Very basic little rhythm, like if you actually just mute those low notes. Right, and then the chords down here are just following the same chords I was telling you about with the bass line, where we're going 6, root 7. Basic, and then I just have a root note and a third on each of those. Now, for the sound on this one, it's made with analog. It's a pretty basic patch to start with, but then we're doing kind of cool stuff to it. So it's basically just a saw wave with a low pass filter with a nice punchy envelope, which sounds like this. We got a little bit of release as well, so it's not just like a short, you know, like if you turn that off. A bit of unison, and then I got a little overdrive, which you could even turn up more like that. It just adds a nice little sort of texture and like a filter to the sound. It's not really distorting it. A bit of echo. Right, a bit of auto pan sidechain. And then a high pass filter. And then we got our bass line. So obviously this is really doing the chord progression as we've already talked about. But also, if you listen to it with the kick, a lot of the groove that's happening here in this song is obviously this bass line that grooves off of the kick like that. You know, I mean, if I turn those two elements off in the whole mix, I mean, for being two elements, that's doing a lot. Now, the sound on this one is made with drift. I really like drift for these kinds of sounds. We've got a saw wave and then this little like saw triangle sort of weird thing. They're at the same octave, but obviously they're coming together to create that waveform you see there. We got a low pass filter. So that's what that sounds like without it. And then there's obviously an envelope on the filter. Just really short and punchy like this. No unison or anything, just a bit of auto pan sidechain. Very important too for getting that groove. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. And like I said at the beginning, you can get this full project file and template at the top of the description on my website. So make sure to grab that while it's available. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.